All right, I think I am live. Not quite sure yet. This is a new setup. There we go. I think we're live now. So, hi, I'm Colleen Mitchell. I am a life coach, a writer, host of a podcast on type 1 diabetes, and I also have a full-time job in the power industry. I focus in my entrepreneur side on helping lady entrepreneurs create financial independence in their lives by getting to the root of how they spend their time and making really powerful decisions to honor their calendars. What I've found is that how we do one thing is really how we do everything. So what we're talking about today is going over some best practices for goal setting. Now, there are a few methodologies for setting goals, but coming up with goals is often not the problem. We have really big imaginations. The problem comes with the follow-through. So let's just dive right in. The first best practice is probably maybe some overly simplistic, but it's to identify where you are now and where you want to be after you achieve the goal. This makes it more real and tangible, especially if you write it down. So you should figure out all of the conditions and aspects of your life currently, like right now, and then what you want them to look like in the future. And the gap is where your work is. I find that a really useful way to identify this is called a thought download. It's just free writing without judgment, and I find it's a really great way to get all your ideas out of your head and see what your options are. The second best practice is to focus on action, not outcome. Let's say you want to lose 25 pounds. That's an outcome-based goal, and it's fine to have that, but it's also outcome focused. When you have a goal to lose weight, the real progress comes from focusing on what you will do every day in pursuit of that goal, like tracking your food, weighing yourself, not eating more than what you've planned to eat, going on a walk, etc. For me, because I'm type 1 diabetic, I also have to track how much insulin I use. And I've found that the more insulin I use in a day, the higher my weight is the next day. It's pretty tricky. So I'm also in a coaching program called Self-Coaching Scholars, and during June, the master coach and founder of the program is teaching a month-long class on the easiest way to get 8 pounds off. Her program focuses on the thoughts we have and the actions we take that actually lead to the result of losing weight, but is never really super focused on the actual result we want. The third best practice is to break down your goals into the smallest chunks possible. So you can make each chunk SMART, which is the acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And you can also adhere to the GIST framework, which stands for goals, ideas, step projects, and tasks. Now, both frameworks focus on making sure that everything you list out has an action verb attached to it, and it serves a specific purpose towards your goal. Gary Keller wrote a book called The One Thing, and in it he talks about focusing on the one thing that, by doing it, will make everything else easier or irrelevant. And with goals, focus on the next one thing on the way, instead of mapping out the next 20 steps and then finding that 2 steps down the road actually takes you in a different direction. Focusing on the next one thing will really drive your movement forward. Excuse me. Now, best practice number 4 is to make sure you set aside time for your self-care and your free time first. And you want to take the time for you want to make time for your goals after you're at your best and when you're full of energy, not when you want to go to bed or sit in front of the TV and watch some mindless entertainment. So if you schedule your free time and your self-care first, and then you schedule in time for your goals, you'll actually have enough energy and relaxation time to be at your best all the time. And the fifth best practice is to know why you're doing this. So don't base your goals on what other people think you should do or what other people want you to do, unless you agree with them. Why you do something is the driver. It's the motivation. So for me, my hard why is financial independence. I want everything I do and everything I achieve to be in pursuit of a wealthy life in all aspects, not just financially. But financial independence will make a lot of things a lot easier. Your why is really personal. It might change as you get older and as you gain experience or a new insight, and it might stay the same, but your goals might change. So it's important to realize that when it comes to your life and setting goals, nothing actually has to be set in stone unless you want it to be. So a quick recap of those 5 best practices is to first identify the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. Second is to focus on the action, not the outcome. Third is to break it down into the smallest pieces you can. Fourth is to schedule your self-care and your free time first. And fifth is to know your why. The impact of these best practices is that you'll be a lot more aware of where you are, where you want to go, and what it will take to get there. So, what big goals are you working on right now? Share them down in the comments. Let me know if you already follow these best practices or if there's something that really works for you that I didn't cover. And if you like this topic and you want more content like it, please join my email list. Every Wednesday I send out an email that's just packed with inspiration and value. The link to sign up is in the description, and if you sign up for my 10 tips for doing what you said you'd do, even if you don't feel like doing it, you'll have the opportunity to pre-order my ebook for a discount. And the ebook is coming out tomorrow morning. It's my practical adulting guide in the age of distraction and instant gratification. So, thanks for joining me. That's it for today. Bye, guys.